Welcome back, everybody, to Fishing for Men. We are so happy that you're here. You're tuning in. You're listening. We know you could be doing anything else right now. And so we just want to say thank you. We appreciate the time that you're spending with us. And we hope that you find something useful and valuable as you have this conversation today. We just are coming off a series on gratitude as we're coming away from Thanksgiving. So we hope that everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And we are now moving into the most wonderful time of the year.
Who do you imagine singing that as you sing it?
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know his name, but he's got like
Some old guy.
yeah.
Amy Grant.
What?
I grew up in an Amy Grant household.
Hey,
That
Fair.
What?
I'm just kidding.
George is young, everybody.
Oh,
I was not gonna. That like totally caught me off guard there, Spencer. Amy Grant, awesome.
wow.
I love it. Well, we have some other guys in the room, as we have just mentioned, but we'll go around real quick.
George.
Hey guys, it's Spencer.
Cody's here.
And this is Billy on the hosting mic today. So before we kind of jump in, talking about Advent, what do you enjoy most about Christmas time? Man, we don't like Christmas in this.
I know what I'm supposed to say as part of this podcast, but I'll tell you, Christmas is always one of the times that is really tradition rich in my family. I think we talked a little bit about this in a previous episode, but what I love about it is that I get to look forward to going back to Tennessee and just spending time with the family. It's not about running around and trying to do 1,000 things, but I know every Christmas exactly what I'm going to do, how we celebrate, and that it's just going to be good time with family.
That's
one of
awesome.
the things I look forward to most.
That's so cool.
Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that spending time, that dynamic of just spending time with family, loved ones. It's also interesting to like recall how Christmas looks different than it did when I was younger, as now as an adult, now as a father, now as a husband. Because obviously I love watching Harry Potter and hot cocoa and the sweet stuff.
Ooh, you're a Harry Potter
I'm a
Christmas movie guy?
yeah. Once fall hits, I start rewatching all of them.
Oh, nice.
Like as the holiday seasons go. But
Are you also, who's a diehard Christmas movie fan?
I watch a lot of them. Yeah.
Whose wives are Hallmark
Oh,
Christmas movie fans?
how about Hallmark and Espanol?
yeah. Oh,
Wait, what?
Yeah.
okay. What?
It's not.
Are they the same movies? Like, or are they like same
movies,
characters?
same
they just
characters.
mouth Espanol.
They're
That could be
talking in
funny.
English, but there's just some Spanish
Yeah,
voice talking.
it is
and
exactly
it's
what it
the
sounds like.
Same Spanish voice for every movie. And my oldest sister has gotten my parents in it over the last
Oh my gosh.
5 years.
This
That
is
voice
like
actor.
Hallmark on a new level.
That voice.
I didn't know you could up the game.
Yeah. Every day, all day, Hallmark.
I will. Okay, I'm gonna have to admit, I have become a Hallmark Christmas movie fan. I do enjoy Hallmark
Get
movies.
into like Christmas in
Crossed
July
over.
on Hallmark. That,
I did
to
not.
That extent,
no,
or,
no. But it was on in our house every day.
Still season appropriate Hallmark.
yeah,
guy.
yeah. Well, they've upped it because it starts in October now.
Jeez.
Yeah. So Katie and I will usually put the kids to bed, and like Monday that week, we like go through and pick all the ones that we feel like watching for the week. So I know that sounds super cheesy,
that is
but I just like them because they're pretty much like
Yeah.
no crap in them kind of thing. Like
yeah,
they're
good point.
feel good movies, like
they are.
I guess, but I don't know. So, but we have ventured into Great American. Oh, was it Great American Family? Whatever the one that
Country.
Candace Cameron Bure started.
Oh.
So she left Hallmark. I know, man. All the wives are going to listen to this episode as we talk about Hallmark and the drama. But yeah, they have another one called Great American Family Network.
I think that's what Paige is mad about because she don't want to pay for it or something.
Yes. Oh, dude. So if you get Friendly, you get both.
Okay.
It's like $6 a month.
Whoa. Take notes here.
No taking.
Take notes.
Yeah. So, yeah, we watch Hallmark, but I
kick back on that. On this
no,
episode?
I don't. Although it does tie into the community aspect with having friends.
There you go. All right. Yeah.
I wish I could be like, today's sponsor is. But actually, the time that the thing that I like most about this time of the year is actually like fires. I love fires.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the rule in our house is if it like is in the 50s, the fire's on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. fireplaces on in the house.
Yeah.
We put one outside the house. We got the fire pit in the backyard. Like wherever I can have a fire and like sit by it. Love it.
With you.
So yeah, that was probably that. And I'm a big sweet tooth person, so we bake a lot. We bake a lot of cookies.
I know.
We get a lot of
I know. We see the picture.
we get a lot of pictures from Billy's house.
This year we're venturing out. We're making cake balls.
Ooh.
Christmas cake
Oh,
balls.
dang.
this year.
Christmas cake ball.
I love that you have already decided
I
your
know.
Christmas
He already
baking.
knows.
September 3rd.
I haven't started shopping, and Billy knows what he's gonna bake.
I don't even know what I'm going to be for Halloween, and you're thinking Christmas menu.
Yeah. Oh, we've already started talking about because Christmas. We're hosting Christmas, and Keith's like, "So what are we going to serve?" And
Man.
so now we're debating. We don't know. We've done tenderloin in the past,
Yum.
but we're thinking whether we want to go like full Jewish feast, or if we want to do the 7 fishes, or if we want to do like a nice crown rack of lamb.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We always like to venture out and
I can't
not
wait
do
to
like
see.
the traditional
Yeah.
like turkey. So
That's fun.
what we do. We typically will do a turkey on the side because we like the leftovers and all that kind of stuff. But then we'll do like actual dinner. So
Nice.
there's lots of cooking going on in our house, and I'll be on paternity leave. So, or I am on paternity leave. So I'll have a lot of time on my hands
Nice.
as we are in the holiday season, which is wonderful.
That's
so
awesome.
love Christmas time. How do you feel the world, or what do you feel the world prioritizes during Christmas time?
Amazon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best answer.
Yes. Amazon on like expedite shipping, like drone style.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Not even 2 hours, like, or not even 2 days, like now. What else?
I'd like to think a lot of people, it's the family aspect of it.
Sure.
I think, I feel bad for, I grew up in a house and with friends that it felt like a lot of parents didn't intentionally get into this like priority, but it was like the slow boiling pot you just didn't realize you were in. But it's like okay, do all the kids have the same amount of stuff? Do I have enough gifts for everybody? We need to get gifts for these people. And then the stress becomes, are all the gifts equal for everybody that we have to get for? And then your list. And
X dollars here, so I got to spend X dollars there.
I don't think you can ignore like the giving and the commercial aspect of it at all. 'Cause I think that's a huge piece of it, but hopefully that's not that big. But
I've sat in Christmases where like if the day or the week or even the month doesn't go exactly like planned, like it is disaster and emotions are high. There's tension all over.
That's too much.
And like it's easy to miss.
yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
It is absolutely easy to miss in the hustle and bustle of whatever. As you probably know with kids, and you guys will find out, school time is crazy during
Oh,
Christmas time
Yeah.
because it's gifts for the teachers and gifts for this and class parties and get this and get that and buy this and buy that. And you're like, holy moly, how much did I just spend on school parties?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
gifts and stuff, and like it's not just gifts for like your main teacher, it's gifts for every like elective teacher. It's I mean our whole like countertop is full of stuff, which they fully deserve it. It's just you don't think about that. But yeah, it's just nuts.
Yeah, I remember those elementary school years.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's interesting. Yeah, and we'll talk about this a little bit. And I feel like there's a big emphasis on like trying to force joy on a bunch of people during Christmas. Like you should be happy.
Yeah.
Like back to how I started. Like it's the most wonderful time of the year. And we try to like force all this happiness and joyful things and all this kind of things, as we'll talk about here in just a second. Like Advent's not that, which I find really interesting. And the story, as I thought about Advent, is the story of Mary. And I'll talk about why here in a second. But in Luke 1, 26 through 38, it's now in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God to a city in Galilee called Nazareth to a virgin engaged to a man whose name was Joseph, one of the descendants of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. And coming in, he said to her, "Greetings, favored one, the Lord is with you." But she was very perplexed at this statement and kept pondering what kind of situation this was. The angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And behold, you will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and you shall name him Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. And the Lord God will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over the house of Jacob forever, and his kingdom will have no end." Mary said to the angel, "How can this be, since I am a virgin?" The angel answered and said to her, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. For that reason, the Holy Child shall be called the Son of God. And behold, even your relative Elizabeth has also conceived a son in her old age, and she who was called barren is now in her 6th month. For nothing is impossible with God." Mary said, "Behold, the bondslave of the Lord, may it be done according to your word." And the angel departed. The reason I bring up this story is both in Latin and in Greek. The word in Latin is adventus, and the word in Greek is, I'm probably going to butcher it, is parousia, I think is what it's called. Both mean to wait. And the reason I thought about this story of Mary was not only is she just got this extremely random, bizarre situation just happen that she's probably just completely shell-shocked as a teenager. Not only does she have this, but she doesn't say when she's going to be pregnant. She says, "Hey, you're going to be pregnant." Now she's got to wait for whenever. Do you think she knew oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So she's got to wait, but she knows this amazing news of the Son of the Most High is about to be in her belly.
Right.
So she gets through that, and then she has to wait 9 months. So she's already modeling out this idea of waiting. And so I loved this story. And so with all these things at Christmas time, that's so much in your face. Mm-hmm. And it seems like it creeps closer and closer up into the year, as we just talked about, like Hallmark Sex Christmas in October. How do we wait? It almost feels like at Christmas time, we are almost in a rush to get to Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And we've lost how to wait.
Which is why sometimes it feels like it flies by.
Yeah.
You look forward
because
to
we're trying to get it here so
yeah.
fast. I can't wait for Christmas. I can't wait for Christmas. I can't wait for Christmas.
Yeah. But then you obsess over, to George's point, what it should look like, all the traditions, how it should feel, so that it is the Hallmark or the social media picture perfect version of Christmas. And then it flies by and you're like, oh man.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And so that's what Advent is really truly all about. It's about waiting well. Early in the history, it was actually 6 weeks. It wasn't 4, which was kind of interesting. And then it switched. I don't remember when, but it switched to 4 weeks.
Because you couldn't wait that long.
Probably.
This is too long of a wait.
Probably. Somebody's like, this is too long. And so they switched it to 4. And I was kind of working through this a little bit, but how many of you knew that, well, I think we all knew, Jesus isn't born at Christmas time. But do you know what holiday was there before? There actually was a holiday on December 25th before Christmas.
No.
Was it about the stars or something? The sun? Or
It was a pagan holiday. It was a pagan holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rome celebrated a holiday called Sol Invictus. Mm-hmm. And what's going to be really cool is, as I was kind of researching this, it's around the winter solstice, and December 25th is supposed to be, I think it's December 25th, is supposed to be the shortest day of the year, which means the most darkness. Mm. What a day for Rome to then redeem this holiday, because it was Rome that actually did this. Rome redeems this holiday for the darkest day of the year, where the light of the world comes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
What a spin.
Look at those Romans.
How cool. But the reason they did that was because before Constantine, they were a pagan city. And then Constantine gets converted and then actually makes Christianity the main religion of Rome in the 4th century. And so then they realized all these pagans are like celebrating stuff and like, no. So they actually try to redeem the holiday and use Christmas, December 25th, as a way to actually go talk to pagans about Christianity.
Look at that.
Which is fascinating.
Yeah.
Like, what a cool like redemption.
Imagine if you tried to do that today.
Yeah. People would be very
Put a plug and play a holiday.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, there are, I mean, if good gosh, go look it up. There is a lot of people who are like, oh, it's just a pagan holiday, you Christians, this and that. I'm like, well, depends on how you look at it. Like, I've come to realize and develop this as I did my own deconstruction of holidays. Like, I have I guess a redemptive perspective on holidays, that you can redeem them, which is really kind of cool. So you watched it in history, but yeah, it was really cool to kind of just work through this history of like, oh wow, like there's some cool parallels and tie-ins to each of these. And so they actually did this to combat the heresy, because there's also a dualism going on between like light and dark and all this kind of stuff. And so I actually did it to celebrate the incarnation of Jesus coming to earth, to combat heresy statements that were actually happening in those centuries at that time. So that's a little bit of backstory on what Advent is. Obviously, we know the arrival of God's kingdom has not fully arrived. There's sort of this now, not yet thing going on. But I loved how Tishwar and Harrison described this as an opportunity to practice in waiting. But as we just talked about, I don't think that's not how I approach Christmas, if I'm being honest. Like, hey, Christmas is coming. What an opportunity to practice waiting.
Yeah.
So, like, what does that look like? How do we tweak that a little bit for us as we approach the holiday season every year? Like, what does it look like to practice waiting? And is there a benefit to waiting?
I think there's the level of excitement that grows.
Sure.
As you practice waiting, you anticipate the moment, you anticipate the arrival, you anticipate every thought and feeling that you've devoted into every day as you approach. In this example, obviously, what we're approaching is the arrival of Jesus. And so.
But I mean, for me, I equate it a lot to like it's a sister period to Lent, right? As far as like waiting, preparing. And I think one of the things growing up in a Catholic household, one of the things I did love about that was the Advent season, because parents were divorced, but in both houses we had an Advent calendar. Yeah. And it was just like that way of almost like celebrating the wait instead of like trying to push through it. It was a time to stop. And then there was always, you did a little reflection with it. Even at school, we would do that. We'd go gather around this. We had a statue of Mary there, and like the whole school would meet around.
We went to Catholic school.
Yeah, we'd read like the whatever the reflection was, and then we'd sing "O Come, Emmanuel," and it was like you celebrated the waiting. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I couldn't tell you the last time I popped open an Advent calendar and like celebrated waiting. But I think that's something that kind of comes to.
We do them with our kids. They're awesome.
Yeah,
like we get a different one every year, and we kind of work through. Like we've done, I think we've done Mickey Mouse before. You can get like Lego ones. Yeah. So we do different ones, so the kids, and it's kind of cool. You can see the anticipation kind of grow. Yeah. Every day a bit. As I think about this, there's one of the things I came across is there's two forms of waiting. One is we get to celebrate Christ here today, but we also get to practice waiting for the future. And so like how it's interesting as you think about, because Advent over the 4 weeks, you celebrate hope, peace, joy, and love, like all seem like super, uplifting, positive sort of things. But there's also waiting that happens because yes, we get to celebrate that Jesus did come, but there's still this I would say almost like a bit of a darkness in waiting, like while we're still here on earth. And so how do you wait, or how do you wait hopefully, peacefully, joyfully, and in a loving way while we're still here? And we'll talk a little bit about these as we kind of wrap into next episode. But one of the things they talk about is your heart should yearn for this, for hope, for peace, for joy. Like, what does that mean for our hearts to yearn for these at this time of year specifically?
Wonder if it's going back to the points that we've made, that it's easy for the world to get consumed on the gifts, on the parties. Maybe it's drinking, maybe it's the traditions, as opposed to shifting that focus over to, hey, in the world, we're not seeing this hope. In the world, we're not seeing this peace, hope, joy, and love. And making every day as we wait about that. Let's make it about hope. What are we waiting for, and who are we waiting for, and why? And you can do that with every single one of them.
Yeah. I love that you said every day.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes I think, oh, it's Advent. We'll just do this during this time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we carry on that yearning 365 days a year in the midst of the minutia, as we were all joking before this podcast, and the poopy diapers? Like, how do we have that yearning in our hearts to remind us that yes, Jesus did come, but he's coming back?
Right.
I think you have to prioritize it, right? I mean, I think
Sure.
even just as you do like in the holiday season, but more broadly is its intention. You know, everything goes back to so much of what we talk about in this podcast itself is just the posture of your heart and the intentionality of, prioritizing God's definition of hope. Because I think one of the things I could see people easily saying, oh, I prioritize being joyful during the holidays. It's just my definition of joyful and maybe not the biblical definition of joyful. Because to George's point, like, I have a lot of joy when I'm at a party, a Christmas party. I've experienced a lot of joy at Christmas parties. Probably not the definition that Advent is really pushing out there, but
Yeah, absolutely.
I also wonder this idea of waiting. So, like, hope in the Bible is this idea of it's based on a person or God, for example. And I wonder if this waiting on God for us, as we try to practice it throughout the year, a way that we can do that is to ask yourself, am I waiting on God for things in regards to me? Am I waiting on God for a job? Maybe it's a family situation. Or am I waiting on God to come, not obviously in real time, but show up in a situation in my life on his own, in his own way? And it's that anticipation and waiting on him, no matter what it is. And it's choosing to wait on him, no matter the circumstance. I think the world, I was in preparation to this. I looked into what Bible Project has to say about Advent and picking up all the different, and it talked about how the world can confuse hope with optimism. The optimism is thinking and waiting on the better outcome, as opposed to God, waiting on God.
Yeah, because there's the expectation and the assurance that Jesus is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So we should be living with a hope, a joy, a peace, a love every day. Because as we talk about so much, we know how the story ends. Yet there's many days that those 4 words don't represent my day at all.
yeah.
And so I kind of want to unpack this waiting word a little bit more, because it feels like when you think about waiting, it means sit around and do nothing. But I don't think that's what God's intention is for waiting. Hey, you just sit there. I'll do my thing. I'll come get you when I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's what that means. So what are we supposed to do in waiting?
I think of the bridesmaids with the oil, right? It's like in that waiting, you're preparing,
Yeah.
right? Like you can sit and you can wait and do nothing and be idle, like some in that, in that parable, or you can be intentional about what you're doing, how you're preparing yourself to stay ready, as it were.
Yeah. What does that look like for us? How do we like thinking about preparing our hearts or preparing ourselves for good works, preparing ourselves for whatever it might be? Like what does preparation look like?
It's funny because tonight, we just came from student ministry, and there was something that was shared today that was kind of smacked me in the face because it was convicting.
Don't you love when students do that to you?
Yeah. But it was like, they were talking about Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours, right? To become an expert. And they broke it down and said 10,000 hours over the course of, let's just assume you live to be 80. That's 20 minutes a day if you started the day you were born. So if you think about like, and they were, the whole point was like, how much time are you spending in the Bible to become really grounded and prepare your heart in Scripture, which is what we're all called to do. And the whole idea was like, are you spending 20 minutes a day to really prepare yourself in the waiting? And I was like, no, probably not 20 minutes every day dedicated. So I think that's a really important one that I know we've touched on a lot, and it sounds so simple, and maybe it's cliche for a podcast like this, but I don't think it can be understated that it's such a grounding thing, especially for me. Like I know we talked about this a lot as a theme of like how different you feel when you know you're connected to the Word versus when you're not.
Yeah.
So that idle versus the intentional waiting. So I
Absolutely.
think using that time to wait to just prepare your heart and ground it in Scripture and Word is one of the most important things we can do.
What a time at the end of the year to like really be intentional about that as you roll in to the new calendar year of like, okay, I know I got to prepare in a way. Like that's what I just came out of as a reminder.
Yeah.
But am I actually sitting there thinking that during Christmas of like, okay, this is my time of preparation. I think most of the time we're thinking of, preparation for all the holidays and families and all that,
Right.
all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so our mind's that way. We're not thinking about preparing our heart to be with God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's there. The preparation is there, but we just have it like misconfigured a bit.
Yeah.
Because we've become distracted a bit with what, all the family stuff. And not that anything of that's bad, but it can tend to distract us rather than using this time of year, which is tend to be slower, to really buckle down.
Yeah.
For preparation. Do some self-reflection. And work through, hey, this is a time when, because remember, when Jesus is coming back right now, like he hasn't been in the world at this point. They're roughly coming off their 400 years of silence. Like talk about darkness,
Right?
Not hearing from God. And then Jesus is about to come on the scene and rock their world.
Yeah.
And you think about some of them are prepared.
Mm-hmm.
I think about, Simeon and Anna at the temple. Boy, were they prepared. Like as soon as they saw him, they're like, that's the Messiah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then you look at other people who dedicated their lives to studying Scripture and they completely missed it. He's right in front of their face.
Yeah.
And so here's the kind of cool thing that I've come to appreciate, which is we don't have to have an answer necessarily. I love to have practical steps for people. But at the same time, the really awesome thing about the God we serve, the Bible we read, the gospel as a whole is there's an element of mystery to it that we're supposed to sit down and ponder, which I just think is really cool. But not how I've always approached it. Like I'm a 1 + 1 = 2 guy. Like
Linear.
I like logical stuff. But I've come to appreciate that there's just some things that he just sit and ponder. And what a time of the year you probably have days off around this time. at least, you at least get a couple of days, Christmas Eve and Christmas. Like, what a time to just sit and ponder this time in history when the Son of God is coming back, what that means, what those people, what culture was like, and then say, what does this mean for me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to give a practical step today, just to leave it hanging there because it's
Love it.
interesting. But like, just go sit and ponder this. What does it mean to wait? What does it mean to yearn? What does it mean to long for the hope that's already come, but also that he's coming back? Or you were going to say something, George?
I was just going to say that I love that. I love everything that you bring to the table, especially because when I think of me, for example, I'm the first one to raise my hand. I have a very quit attitude when, like, because of perfectionism.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder if there's like folks and listeners out there listening and being like, it's October, November, December. Like, what's the point in sitting and waiting? What's the point in rejoicing and joy? What's the point in like trying to create peace?
Yeah.
When I can just start it again on January 1st. And as I was just thinking about all of this, I love this idea that hope, peace, joy, and love is either an attitude or an action that God's people adopt because of their hope in God's love and promise. So there's that idea of like intentionally doing it now, but also looking forward into the future. Because like we've talked about it, is we're in the waiting period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how do we wait well? I think that's the question for us to ponder. When everything in our world, not just this time of year, is trying to get us to look to the left and to the right at pleasure and comfort and all the things that are not Jesus. How do we wait well all through the year?
Yeah.
Well, I think I appreciate that you're not offering the practical steps to define it, because then it gives you freedom to realize that it probably doesn't look the same for every single person. Of those 4 themes, I might need waiting well for me might be really rooting in peace or joy or love or hope.
Yeah.
And kind of going back to pondering and thinking through. So
and doing some self-reflection on each 4 of those. And we'll talk about these a little bit on the next one too, of like what each of these mean and how they apply from rejoicing in what Jesus has come and done on the earth, but also what it means for waiting for whenever that day is that he comes back. And so each of us are going to be at different maturity levels in hope, peace, joy, love. Like, we're not all going to be like 100% every single one. Yeah. If you are, I call BS. So I think that's the time, like, that's the action, is find some time during the holiday season by yourself. Get away from the hustle and bustle. Maybe you got to step away from the family for a little bit. Go on a walk. Find a quiet place. Think about, what does it mean to wait well? And then do a little reflection on, what is it that I place my hope in? Where do I get my peace from? Where does my joy come from? And do I love God and love others well?
Yeah.
So with that, we will wrap this bad boy up. As you continue through your day and your week listening to this episode, again, spend some time on what it means to wait well. Because at the end of the day, we know how this ends. And we have an opportunity to prepare ourselves, but also to prepare and impact the kingdom while we're here. So, as always, thank you so much for listening. Enjoy your holiday season, and we'll catch you on the next one.